interesting.
I
Okay.
just wanted to say
Yeah.
one thing, and this is really to John and Tage, which is that there is a kind of feedback effect, which I think we all know very, very well, that when you look at any interesting poem closely, you will see almost an exaggeration of itself, of the poeticalness, as Jacobson would have said, of the poem. That is, you get an exaggerated kind of almost like Brobdingnagian, did I do that one right, close-up of meter or of word choice or of sound and or the spondees and so on, the particular sound. And that is an interesting reading effect of close reading of a poem.
Would you suggest that we try a less close reading of a
No,
poem
no,
like
no,
this?
no, no. It was just that I would say, in a general sense, this is not the only poem in the world, as both John and Tage know, that might give rise to those reading effects and be worthy of discussion. That's pretty much all. That
Okay.
is, it's sort of
Fair enough.
Yeah.
No, I think that's exactly right. So, Rachel, it's your turn to pick a passage that you think we should focus on.
This is actually going to pick an effect,
Okay, that's good.
a particular kind of thing that happens. Something to do when you're reading poems is to follow the pronouns in the poem. And I want to do that for a second, and I also want to follow a particular weird pronoun, which is it, and the implications of it. If you look at the beginning and you just kind of go tearing yourself down in the page through the pronouns, you'll see a kind of implied it, something there is, and it's a deictic pointing, there is something vague, as Tage said. The groundswell under it, and so on and so on. The work of hunters is a plural. There are hunters who are plural. There are boulders who are plural, which are plural. There are dogs that are plural. There is an it rabbit, even a rabbit, that's plural. There is a one, meaning the pronoun one, and then there are we and us. And the pronouns all seem to settle in we and us in the very iambic lines that we refer to, set the wall right again, between us right again, then us, we, right on down to the incredibly weird turn of the poem, which Frost blows. He doesn't know how to do it.
Writing or reading?
Reading. Writing, he did fine. Thank you very much.
Just wanted that. I just thought I'd ask.
Just saying. Right. Oh, just another kind of outdoor game, one on the side. In caesura, it comes to little more. There where it is, we do not need the wall. All right. Then he versus I,
Tennis net.
I, in like a tennis net, well, maybe, or like a wall between which
A game.
the poem has a volta, that is a turn, just about where we were kidding around, and it changes. The pronouns change. They're not so inclusive. They're not so multiple. The only pronoun that's missing, actually, from the beginning is she, which appears encoded in a breast. Well, I mean, it's missing in action. So that's one. But if you look even more closely at the question of it in the poem, and I'm talking about two kinds of it, a pointing it, which is also like the word there, and the referent it, which is understood. Like, what is the it in a phrase like, it is raining, or live it up, or in this poem, it seems to me. What is the it? Okay, these are idiomatic, understood antecedents of something weird that it's just in language. So you have this very strange opposition between an it which is pointed at, like there is it and things like that, and the it that is an antecedent that wants it down. He said it for himself, meaning the word elves, as the father saying, I wish I'd thought of it. Those kinds of its have reference in the poem. The other kind of its things are very, very vague and quite uncanny. actually, which was, you might say, Tage was pointing to by her riff on the word something and my sort of addition, there is. So I would like to point with those things to two features. One is the incredible uncanniness of this poem, which seems to get very vague at the moment when or very eerie, actually, at the moment when it seems to colloquially consolidate. And the other would be the split in the poem between a more composite, full set of pronouns and this I, he business at the end.
And going from collaboration to competition.
Yeah, and that, which really is something to discuss about the so-called meaning, semantic meaning of the poem,
Okay.
as we have been circling.